Hello, it's me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. If your Venus is in the sign Cancer, this video is for you. It doesn't have to be in the sign Cancer though. You can have a sun in Cancer, a moon in Cancer, Mars in Cancer. Venus could be even transiting in Cancer, and I'm going to discuss what that means, how that looks aesthetically, because Venus is about our aesthetics, it's about our fashion. And most likely, if I can sum it up, your style is probably emotional, cozy, or a little bit nostalgic. You don't just wear clothes, you wear memories, love, and comfort. In this video, I'm breaking down the signature style of Venus in Cancer, and I'm going to use celebrities because I don't know how to show you without using celebrities who have Venus in Cancer. And I'm going to show you how they're very feminine in their dressing, their color, the silhouette, and a lot of them play it safe. So let's get started.
3, 2, 1.
I love you.
First of all, I want to say I'm a Cancer sun, and I still dress like sometimes that I have a Venus in Cancer. The sun sign does affect a lot of times the way you dress. You see my last video, which I did Venus in Gemini, and I showed even how Missy Elliott has a Venus in Gemini. However, you see that Aquarius with that futuristic come through. Now, Cancer as a sign is very romantic, it's very sensitive, it's ruled by the moon, so it can be very moody. It goes through all the zodiac signs, so really fast. And so today you may feel sentimental, tomorrow you maybe feel a little depressed or angry, and that could come out on how you dress as well if you have a Venus in Cancer. But being loved is very important when it comes to Cancer signs, and if you have a Venus in Cancer, you love security, and that brings you harmony as well, and this can affect how you dress. Male or female, they love comfort, and the sense of security is not just for you, but it's also for others. So a lot of people who have Venus in Cancer, they want to show that they are a mother figure, or they feel safe for you to approach. Cancer does represent the mother, it represents a safe place, it represents a mom, it also represents a father figure. That gives you safety and protection and security. Because it is ruled by the moon, you do get a lot of pearl and white as a color. Keywords for Venus in Cancer: you get soft, you get romantic, you get feminine. Cancer and Pisces are the most feminine signs. Neptune and the moon are the most feminine celestial bodies as well. But Cancer is very feminine and sentimental, and also classic and timeless. Cancer is on the same axis as Capricorn, and they share a lot of themes together. Capricorn is all about traditions, it's about time. You have Cancer being about your memory and your past. That's also representing time, and this also represents a classic energy. The girl who wears her grandmother's pearls would represent a true Cancer. Also too, you have linen, you have cashmere. You want to feel cozy. Now, there's style of dresses that they're very flowy. There's A-line dresses, they can wear wrap dresses, very cozy. So a lot of covering and sweatshirts even. What's her name? Khloe Kardashian is a Cancer, and she collects a lot of blankets, and that's very Cancer energy because they love to be cozy. So you get a lot of cardigans or sweatshirts or soft shawls, but they feel really soft. Satin robes, lacy camisoles, vintage slips, anything that represents the past. Silk scarves, antique jewelry, any type of heirloom pieces. Is a hair brooch a brooch? But yes, any of those. Barely their makeup. They like dewy skin. Ballet flats, Mary Jane's, kitten heels, pastel tones. You're talking about soft florals. You're talking about anything white, off-white creams. You could have blue because that could represent water energy, but a lot of soft pink and a lot of soft colors. The fabric choices that they prefer are silk, satin, cashmere, linen, cotton, mohair, anything that's soft to the touch and comfort. Fabrics that evoke any type of nostalgic or femininity energy. Accessories, again, pearls and moonstone is very strongly connected with the moon, so you do have that. Rose quartz also. Vintage lockets or sentimental photos, hair bows, soft headbands and scarves, feminine handbags or soft textures or rounded shapes because you are dealing with the moon with the round. But just know that I keep saying feminine, and we will address some of the men here. But cottagecore meets French girl vintage aesthetic is what I would say is the perfect Venus in Cancer girl, or maybe like the 1940s housewife. Come on now, that is like so Cancer. Romantic Parisian with a touch of southern charm. Wherever you are from and represents your heritage. If you are from Paris and the Parisian aesthetic represents where you're from, your home, you you can dress like that. If you're from the South, you can dress like that. Anything that represents your heritage too is very strongly connected into a Venus in Cancer. Lana Del Rey is a Cancer and she dresses very vintage, okay? I know, I gotta look at, because I feel like Taylor Swift does it sometime, but maybe it was a transit or chart was into Cancer, so I'll have to look into that. Loungewear, huge. Cancer, just like really into sleep and dreams. Very classic, very timeless. Oh, nautical touches for sure. Jupiter is in Cancer as I'm doing this video, and nautical clothing is very much in style right now. Aprons and kitchen chic. Cancer does rule the home and it likes to make you feel comfortable, provide safety. So you might have an apron, and I have Cancer and I have several aprons and I'm into the way the apron looks too. Knit and crochet details. Cancer loves personal feel. Anything that's homely that feels like a hug. Even metallics, shimmer, because you are talking about that moon. Nature and water. Anything representing nature and water. Dresses with sweet details, feel gentle and nurturing. Clothes that tell a story and that reminds you of a special moment. Now let's talk about the men. Okay, so the men, Venus in Cancer. I'll pull up some examples, but they really love comfort first. They give very classic energy, anything that's very nostalgic. Also, too, they want to feel safe. I find that when I was researching a lot of Venus and Cancers, they play it safe a lot. Feel safe and warm. Nothing flashy, but intentionally styled to evoke, to make you feel familiar. That makes them feel like they value family and they give an emotional presence. Very soft, neutral, sentimental colors, very comfortable fabric. They wear classic, timeless cuts. Sentimental touches, like maybe they have a family ring or a ring from their dad or a football jersey from their dad or something like that. Very boyfriend energy. Think of a cozy hoodie or a flannel shirt that smells like cologne or a soft hoodie. It's soft, but it's very protective because they do have that crab, and that crab is like a hard shell. So they want to feel very protective. A lot of earth colors with men, like that oatmeal, slate, and gray, navy, faded soft sage, warm browns. Clean but emotional styling. They're not into trends at all. It's very, very timeless and dressed to feel safe, loved, and emotionally connected. Their style rooted in memory, emotion, and connected to the past. I didn't find a lot of men that dress vintage, but if you see a guy and he's always into a time period, pretty much he is a Venus in Cancer. He has a Venus in Cancer. So let's start with Chris Evans. We'll start with the guys first. Last video I didn't do the guys, but we'll do the guys here. Chris Evans here. He has a Venus in Cancer, Knives Out. He wore a lot of cable knit sweaters. Anyway, he has a sun in Gemini. He has a moon in Scorpio. Ooh, it's very deep. And he has Mercury in Cancer and a Venus in Cancer. He wears a lot of classic clothes, okay? You're talking about all American kind of dressing. I feel like he would just shop at, like, I don't know, Hollister, American Eagle. Yes, it's very, very safe. And this is what I meant by Venus in Cancer. And also, next we have Keanu Reeves. And he's a Virgo rising. He has a sun in Virgo. He has a moon in Cancer, Mercury in Virgo, a Venus in Cancer, and a Mars in Cancer. And I felt like he was not giving the Virgo stallion any justice. He almost looks like he doesn't own a home. Is very into comfort. He might keep a lot of old pieces. That's what I feel like when I see the way he dresses. Very much into comfort. He does this like style that it seems effortless. Seems like he puts no effort into it, but he really wants to be comfortable. There's a straight focus on comfort. Now, Idris Elba, who does have a sun in Virgo and a moon in Leo and a Mercury in Virgo and a Venus in Cancer and a Mars in Virgo, he to me more like a Virgo than anything. That sun in Virgo must be a strong placement. That Mercury in the ruler of Virgo, it seems stronger than the actual Venus in Cancer. Sure, he is not being filmed. He probably wears a great hoodie, but he wears very clean cut, but still very safe the way he dresses. His wife, gorgeous. She's giving like her body is very much like nurturing, very motherly, not athletic. She's giving very Cancer energy. Very feminine in the way she dresses as well. And the Venus is also what you are attracted to. Arnold Schwarzenegger, another Venus in Cancer. First picture I have of him, he's wearing this like really thick sweater. He has Mercury in Cancer and a Venus in Cancer. He loves to stay warm. I find that Cancers love to stay cozy and warm. So he's layering. Another person who has Venus in Cancer is Barack Obama. I'm not sure if his chart is correct, his date of birth. You know, I know he's the president, but, you know, I'm always suspicious of these governmental official government officials. Anyway, but for the most part, he plays it safe. He is a government official, so he was a president. I feel like he always has to play it safe. Another person is Ben Affleck. He has a sun in Leo, a moon in Virgo, Venus in Cancer, and he's a Cancer rising. I feel like he is also giving all-American, very traditional and very safe. He wears flannels. He wears a lot of warm clothes. And I thought he lived in LA. He's always like bundled up, double layered. Very interesting. A lot of flannels, cable knit sweaters. Very, very comfortable. I don't think he's in movies when he's wearing these sweaters. I forget what they're called. Argyle sweaters. I forgot what they're called, but you know, like in flannels. So he's giving very much Cancer. And for the most part, what I saw with the men is that they play it really safe. They wear very neutral colors. They do not step out of the box when it comes to any trends. They wear very classic, and they are like almost like the all-American, or even like the Parisians. Very effortless, a lot of comfort, a lot of coziness. Even though Arnold Schwarzenegger, that sweater was a little bit too much, but you never know. Now let's talk about the women. So now we're talking about the women. Venus sign with women, to me, is a little bit stronger. Men are always trying to achieve things, so they're really strong with their Mars. When they're trying to achieve things, that could affect the way they dress. Okay, if they don't have the same sign, if they have a Mars in Virgo and they're trying to go to work, they could be dressed really clean cut, even though they have a Venus in Cancer. I hope that makes sense. Now the girls, on the other hand, Venus sign could be very strong because we are emotional creatures and we like to have a lot of harmony. So there is that. First, I'll start with Zendaya. She has a Virgo sun. She has Venus and Mars in Cancer. She obtains things through her Venus. Her Venus is in a 6th house, which means that her aesthetics is really important to how she works. It's very interesting because Venus in Cancer, you would think she plays it safe, but maybe work aesthetic, she plays it safe with her stylist. I did see her in some white. I do know there was a time where she was wearing like timeless pieces. It was like the 70s, 60s kind of girl. She dresses very feminine. She does change it up every now and then. For the most part, because she has that Venus in a 6th house and she's a Virgo, it's all about work for her. I think that when she's not working, she probably wears a lot of comfortable, cozy clothes. Now, it's really hard. I tried to put in Google street style to get their authentic style, but you know, I have to be a stalker of some of these celebrities to really get it. She dressed for the most part very feminine. Now, next we have Keke Palmer. Now, her time is not accurate on her chart, but it says that she's a Cancer rising. That may not be true. She has a Venus in Cancer. She has a Mercury in Virgo. You know, I listen to her podcast every now and then. She is very funny. She's very quick and witty. And I was like, I thought she was a Gemini because she loves to talk, right? But she does have a Mercury in Virgo. It's at 0 degrees. Ooh, it's very strong. And it's her sun. That's also 3 degrees. So, but even if her timing's not right, that Mercury conjunct her sun is a talker boy, a huge, I'm doing gestures and I forget, I'm doing like a computer screen and it's some balloons just popped up. Anyway, but also too, she's very close to her mom, right? That gives you that Cancer energy, that Venus in Cancer. And also too, her Venus is trine Pluto, which is very lovely. This is how she dresses. I find that she's the most daring Venus in Cancer that I saw. She's still very feminine. I do know I've seen her in dressing like a boy sometimes, but for the most part, and this is the hard thing about celebrities, she does a lot of classic looks, but for the most part, celebrities have a lot of stylists and they're not really dressing how they want to dress. They're told how to be dressed. So yes, anyway, she's gorgeous. I find that she looks great in all her looks. None of the looks look like they're swallowing her, but she's dressed very, very feminine. She has that Virgo in her, so work is very important to her, and so her aesthetics for work would be very important as well. Now, Lisa Rinna is a Cancer sun, a Venus in Cancer, a Mercury in Cancer. I had no idea. There's a lot of Cancers on Housewives of on Bravo, but she also has a North Node in Cancer. So she holds on to the past with her, and also too, I find that her hair is timeless for her. Okay, she holds to that signature hair that I used to watch Melrose Place back in the day, okay? And she has the same hairstyle. Her birth time may not be accurate. I feel like she gives me Leo vibes. Her North Node is conjunct her sun. That could be a possibility of why she gives me Leo vibes, or she could be a Leo rising. For the most part, when she's out in the streets, she just very comfortable, but I do know she's very bold and very sexy a lot of times when she dresses. Ashley Olsen is a Mercury in Cancer, a Venus in Cancer. Now, she has a twin. Mary Kate could be a Venus in Cancer too. I gotta check why I don't have they're twins. I don't know the time apart, but I would think the Venus is the same. Ashley Olsen, and she is the queen of a button down and very classic in the way she dresses. Now, The other one dresses more like Pisces. Very interesting. I'll have to look at that. But yeah, she wears, oh, and they also keep all their clothes. I remember watching an interview of both of the twins, and they said they keep all their clothes. They're very sentimental about their clothes. That's very Venus in Cancer as well. But Ashley Olsen wears classic pieces for sure, timeless. And I'm pretty sure their clothing line, The Row, the clothes are somewhat safe and they're about quality. They're really not about like really too trendy kind of pieces. Now, someone who's hardcore about Venus in Cancer, and before I even get into that, I wanted to just say some honorable mentions. Okay, so I don't know her name, but I'll look it up. But I remember I was watching a vlog and she says she has a Venus in Cancer. She's doing her whole house and it's very vintage, and she even collects like vintage books. It's very glamorous but very vintage energy, so I'll put her up. Also to a TikToker, her home, shares about her home a lot and her aesthetics of her home.
In case you missed it, my family and I moved into a historic 1912 Georgian revival here in our hometown. We're going from black to this really pretty grayish color, which I think will soften everything, and that's kind of my goal. All right, so this is the foyer, and this is what you see when you first walk in. I'm still settling in, so I'm gonna just share a little bit and share just a few spots. Welcome to the formal room. So this room is pretty much almost done. I was able to just take everything from our old living room and bring it here and repurpose it, and it really feels cohesive. So I was really happy about that. And I was able to take the chandelier from our primary bedroom and bring it here, and I really feel like it works so well in the space. So this room is pretty much complete, and I'll do a bigger tour in our official tour. So let's keep going. Okay, do you remember I took some of the hydrangeas from our hydrangea garden in our old home, and I brought them here because I really wanted to honor it in this little special way, but it looks so pretty here in our back foyer, and that leads you to the back of the house. Here's a little glimpse of the family room. Most recently, the color of the walls were black, but originally they were a bright green. So we painted them this white to kind of give us a blank canvas, see the wood and let it shine, but I think I might do a wallpaper in here. This is the kitchen, and I am so in love with the space. When we first moved in, the center island was a dark navy black. It was a beautiful contrast, but I wanted to soften the space a little bit, and I also wanted to just create my own interpretation. So I did a gorgeous natural tan color by Sherwin-Williams, and I needed to protect our privacy. So there was something on the fireplace that kind of exposed a little bit about this home, and I wanted to protect my family, so I needed to cover that up while still preserving the historical integrity of the fireplace. I love this drawer as well. It feels like we had professional organizers come in, but it was just Sam.
And a home is very white. And when you have Venus in Cancer, you get a lot of white, okay? So she a lot of white, and it's very loving and inviting, her home. Yes, so I believe that she has some strong Cancer placements, or Venus in Cancer. And then we have Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson is a Cancer. She wears a lot of white, and you can see this is her Cancer showing through for sure. And then we have Lisa Ray. Okay, Lisa Ray have some Cancer placements. Let me see, Lisa Ray natal chart. Lisa Ray has to have some type of Cancer placements because she wears a lot of white too. Look up her chart and put it up here, but she wears a lot of white. So either her Venus is in the 4th house, or her Venus is conjunct the moon. There's something that's giving Cancer energy, okay? But I'll give those honorable mentions because when I see them, I think Cancer. Now, here's a perfect Venus in Cancer. Sabrina Carpenter, she has a Venus in Cancer, and her Venus is not just in Cancer, but it's in the 4th house. And a lot of retro, okay? If you know Sabrina Carpenter, you know she a certain time. That is her whole aesthetic. It's very classic, very feminine, almost like Marilyn Monroe, something from, I don't know, when is this time period? The 50s, the 40s, the 60s? I think she does all those time periods, but very classic, a little hoochie. Now, another Venus in Cancer is Angelina Jolie. She's giving mom vibes for sure, right? She's got all these kids. Also, Venus in Cancer. Also, I realize a lot of Venus in Cancer, they wear a lot of suits. Very interesting because they're very feminine, but they wear a lot of suits, and I would think because suits represent a classic time, a time period. Yes, but very safe. A lot of pastels and a lot of white, even though you do see them in black, but they are playing it safe for sure. Angelina Jolie, also a great example of Venus in Cancer because she does play it safe. She still dresses feminine and she plays it, wears a classic neutral colors. You would think that this is like a Taurus, Venus in Taurus, that Venus in Cancer, because of all the white. She wears a lot of white as well too. And all of her fabrics must be really soft. I want to touch them. I feel like when she's wearing a sweater, I want to rub it. Like, is this cashmere, darling? A lot of closeness to Venus and Taurus, because Taurus also wears a lot of quality pieces, okay, not the quantity. Now, a Meryl Streep, a Cancer sun. She has a Venus in Cancer and Uranus in Cancer. Dresses safe, and she does wear a lot of white. And you see when she's even off, she's got a cozy little sweater. A lot of suits here. Very comfortable. She's nothing like her roles that she plays on, what is that show, that movie? They're doing a part 2, Devil Wears Prada. Okay, another Venus Cancer is Halle Berry. She also has a Mars in Cancer. She also has Jupiter in Cancer. She has a Leo sun. She has a Leo moon, and she has Mercury in Leo. I think she gives very Leo vibes, okay? With her hair is a big deal as far as her aesthetics. She's a Taurus rising. I feel she embodies all of this. Signs when she gets dressed. I think she dresses very feminine, and I think she dresses very bold because she will be naked sometimes, okay? Also, that rising is giving that earth, effortless, quality vibe. Yes, but she does dress very feminine. When she's in LA, you see a lot of comfort, but a lot of neutral colors, soft colors. I love Halle Berry. I love the way she dresses when it comes to her streetwear. I feel like I'm not doing justice in these pictures. Even her style is a little bold. It's giving very Leo energy. But when she's in her streetwear, it is very comfortable and cozy for the most part, from what I noticed. Okay, it's the last one I have. I hope you guys enjoyed the Venus in Cancer. If you have a Venus in Cancer, let me know what hit hardest. Like, what is you're like, oh my gosh, I really dress like this, or you didn't mention this. Venus is all about softness. Whether you're wearing that cozy sweater, let me know. If you have a lot of throws in your house, or that's your go-to comfort is going to your bed. But it's also nostalgic silhouettes or nostalgic pieces, or something from your mom, your grandmother. As a Cancer, I have a lot of pieces from my grandmother, and I didn't ask for them, and there's a lot of grandkids, and I still have those pieces. They're very important to me. You guys want to go deeper? If you're like, oh my gosh, I love this, because sometimes, you know, I do these videos just to tap into the superficial part and the general part of it, but you know, I'm really deep into astrology. I find that if you really learn more about your astrological chart, your natal chart, you learn a lot about yourself, and also too, it helps you deal with others better. So if you want to book a reading, click the link down below. If you're like, that reading is too expensive for me, understandable, times are tough, I have an ebook that is more affordable, and it teaches you how to read your own chart. But yes, but links are all down below. So you guys for watching. Look at this thumbs up. I don't know if you guys can see the screen that I have. Give me a thumbs up. I don't know if you see that, but you guys comment, tell me if you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching. I want to hit the bell because I'm doing the next sign. The next sign is going to be Venus in Leo. We already talked about some Leo energy already, so I'm excited to see what it really looks like. All right, I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye bye.